guys, we are live at this, what is this, the third migrant shelter we've been to today. Most people go on vacation to California and Mexico and go to the beach, and we're exploring the migrant shelter. Oh, thank you. You too. They're like, no, hey Paloma. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not Paloma.
Am I wrong for saying? I'm like, if you're a guy and you say, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
So we're here. We have the whole crew with us, and we are exploring.
Paloma, so what about the is the other?
We're gonna go inside.
Site,
Hola.
Where we had the what is it? The caravan that was out at that like
Park.
Yeah, that one we went to last time. Is that still there? No. So they've done all dispersed them.
Hey Cynthia.
So now it's set up in these like kind of makeshift places all over town.
Wow.
So they just keep moving them into
smaller groups.
The ones we went to are still operating.
How many of these places are operating?
Like 7. Yeah.
So all of those people end up going to something like this.
Yeah, or kind of on their own and just finding their way, and that's.
And then where are the leftists now that are organizing all this stuff?
There's not like a central place anymore. They just come, you know. Yeah.
Gotcha.
See, it's interesting too, because we're seeing it on the Phoenix end. So when, after they've gone through all this, then they're bussed into the cities, right? And similar to this, they split them up into churches. So they're dumping like loads off at the churches.
Yeah, they don't have.
Hi everybody, this is Pastor Alberto.
Hello.
He's the one in charge.
Hi, I'm Brandy.
Hi, Brandon.
That is Ben.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
This is Jennifer from Arizona.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
That is Paloma over there.
Hola, mucho gusto.
Okay.
Mucho gusto.
I think I la miré ahí en el, I saw her there at
Hi
Benitez.
Paloma. So the pastor is going to give us a little tour of the shelter right now. How many migrants do you have at the shelter right now?
Right now, I think we have about 175.
Wow.
175. From Central America, right? You don't even imagine how it's in there. He has bunk beds and all that. So let's if whenever you guys are ready to follow him, and then after we go into his office and we get the interview that you guys want. So whenever you guys are ready. Yes. ¿Tuvo servicio hoy?
Sí, ahorita terminamos. ¿Cómo estamos, Milagro?
Ya llevo la
Pizza. So here we are, guys. We're in Tijuana.
Yeah, those are water.
And that's potable water?
Yeah. They have filters, those things have filters. Yeah, everybody has one of those.
Ben, you're good? Good. Okay, so let's go on this little tour that the pastor is doing. Stay close so we can
Got it.
so you can hear it.
Okay.
So over here, up here we have some families. Cuidado, amigo, cuidado, Here are some of the families that we have. Especially for families.
It's a special part for families.
Special part for families.
Bueno, nomás que aquí estamos viendo que aquí tenemos familia.
You're going to show us.
A ver, ¿dónde están las familias? Digo, aquí están. We have families here.
Hola. Say hola to America.
This one, we're fixing this room, and we have some here.
Hola.
These are just for families. Dios les bendiga, nomás estamos diciéndole que tenemos aquí.
Familia de qué parte de Centroamérica son?
Desde Guerrero. They're from here, from Mexico.
And the other ones over here?
Y de aquí de
On your way. Just push me out of the way.
Honduras.
Honduras. From Honduras. Right here.
Housekeeping. Hola. So this is like, but that's like a legit family, you know what I mean? Like that's different than what we're seeing on getting off these buses. Is mostly
They just show up?
mostly men with kids, guys. So what you saw in there was, I mean, it was an actual family.
I have a 15-year-old, 6-month pregnant, no mom, no dad, with her sister that's 13, and then there's another one that's 14, and then I have another 17-year-old with a 2-year-old boy, no mom, no dad.
What happened to their parents? Did they know, or did they?
Well, one of them, their parents, the dad, started coming with them, and then at the end abandoned them. So they came on the caravan, 15-year-old with the 13. And then they needed meals and everything. They became friends with someone there. And all of a sudden she became pregnant.
No, the
And when
15-year-old
they came
is
down
6
over here
months
to
pregnant.
Tijuana, she became just abandoned. And she just, so she was dehydrated and everything. Had to take her to the doctor, medication. She needed rest and everything. So,
And was this consensual? How she got pregnant, or we
it
don't
looks
know?
like it.
Okay.
What happened with her is that no mom, no dad. The dad left her, abandoned her. So they needed food. She needed to take care of her 13-year-old and everything. Somebody started offering food and everything, and all of a sudden she gets pregnant, and then abandoned here down by Benitez. And then later on, they tell me that she's dehydrated and everything. She could lose her baby and everything. So we brought her down over here. We have contacted the city council, the embassy from El Salvador. Tell them the problem. Contacted their parents. We contacted the authorities here, leave, immigration, everyone in general. We have them here. But basically, Mexico right now, what's about beef and everything, they're saying that everything's stacked up. It's just too many migrants and everything.
So did she get medical care and everything?
Yeah, right now we're taking care. We're taking care of them. The only problem that we have right now is that we're trying to negotiate and see if Mexico could give their dad or their mom permission to come here to Mexico. We're willing to pay like a plane fare for the best interest of the girls who are here.
Right.
So basically that's what we're doing right now.
And they want to be with their parents, obviously. Yes.
Yeah, they want to be
Okay.
with their parents. So right now we're in that negotiation. The other thing is that the girls wanted to apply for political asylum,
Right.
but in the border, if you're a minor, they don't give you a number.
Right.
So now
So they're kind of in limbo, right?
yeah. So right now, that's how they
So
are.
if you're a minor, an unaccompanied minor, you don't have any parents, you can't claim asylum?
You can add no, you can't decline.
Can a
Claim
guardian?
because you need a legal guardian or something. And the other problem is that here in Mexico, all the minors and everything accompanied or what, if they're minors and everything, you have an orphanage, nonprofit, the state has to give you custody of the minor.
Okay.
If you have the minor without the authorization of the authorities,
You're
you
in
get a big
trouble.
problem.
Right.
So a lot of non-profit organizations and everything, they don't want
They
them,
don't want them.
or orphanage because the state has to give them to them. So what's happening is there's a lot of activist groups and everything
Okay.
that underground. They rent apartments and everything, and they have these minors and everything that are not accompanied.
It's not that they don't want to have them.
If you want, let's
Okay.
move it and then
Okay.
do this interview in there.
Gotcha.
But in the office.
Trying to like squeeze everybody in space. Hola.
Minors that they're unaccompanied.
Oh, this is the room for the unaccompanied minors here. Do they have a nanny?
So we have a family. We have a family like matrimony and everything. They oversee. They're in charge of.
They look after
They
them.
look out for them.
Sorry.
Hola.
Sure.
Can you show
Right.
us the kitchen?
Yeah. We have a new kitchen that we're supposed to.
Excuse us. Excuse us.
This is a new kitchen that it got donated from World Central Kitchen, I think it's called. So
So this is from World Central Kitchen.
Okay.
They helped us out. They got us the refrigerator, the stove, and this is like purified water.
Okay.
That's coming. So this purified water comes out there.
Wow.
World Central Kitchen, they helped us out a lot.
Wow.
Especially with this.
That's a nice stove.
Yeah, very good. And also, that's very good and efficient because it's just water, running water like that. And there's some filter and purified it. So we don't have to buy drinking water. So it's good. It's,
Do they come down and like provide food and stuff too?
they used to, but not no more.
Okay. Do you guys get any like help with food and donations and stuff?
Yeah, different American groups, churches, and everything that.
So the Americans are coming down here and helping
There's
you.
a storage right now that he's going to show you. So.
Hola.
This is our old church that we made it into.
Be careful right here.
Okay.
Where's Ben?
Back there.
Oh wow.
Pásale. Come in. Okay,
So we made this like bunk beds.
Wow. And what quarters is this? What?
This is Central America. This is Central America.
Here are
The men.
just like men, or only men, not families.
Gotcha.
This area is
Single men.
not families. These are like the bunk beds.
Okay.
One in the bonds like that, so we just separate them and
Hola.
have them there. Dios bendiga. Hola. ¿Cómo estamos? ¿Todo bien? Qué bueno, qué bueno.
Hola. Yeah, guys, these are all people from Central America. Those were all the single men. Oi.
Here we have some families up here.
Hola.
We have them separated with families. Son familias.
Hey. Hi.
It's okay. There's not, we're not going to fit all of us over there.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yo más que le estoy diciendo que son como familias. Están escondidos, ¿verdad? ¿Qué andan haciendo, Yeah, these are just families that we have
Oh,
here.
wow.
Son
Oh,
familias.
hi. There's a... Hola. Hola. Would love to talk to some of them too.
¿Cómo estamos?
Oh, there's more.
¿Cómo estamos dando la
Hola.
vuelta, Estas son unas familias. This is a family.
Hola.
So we're around here en las familias.
Oh, don't put that on your head.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Por qué mira el gorrito que puso? Bueno, yo le
Oh, wow. Okay, so we have like bunk beds with no mattresses. No mattresses.
Oh, you guys are so cute. You're cute?
Yeah, I don't think there's an exit for people to get out in case of a fire. I mean, there's a window here. We're on the second floor right now.
I love them.
I know.
Bye-bye, sweetheart.
It's kind of hard to tell. You see, we're like walking through this like attic space almost. Hola, adios. Yeah, guys, we're kind of undercover as media. Did you go back there? Did you go back there?
If it wasn't for him, that shelter wouldn't have been released. He was the one that went over there and tried to make peace with the government, and he was the one that took the responsibility of the activists and the 50 immigrants, almost 50, huh?
Yeah, well, at the end it was about 80. It was about 40 that were left over at the end of the day. But since the place was condemned, the immigrants leave. But when you leave outside the property, you couldn't come back. So I had another 35 that were out on the street. So everyone came down with us.
And then they didn't have anything with them, or?
Oh, they brought all their stuff that they had
okay.
and everything. It was a little bit like a nightmare.
Wow. Living quarters. So it's like each bunk space holds one family. So up here is the families. Somebody hiding back there?
Yeah, if you want unlimited data, that's expensive, but texting and calling is really cheap. For like 50 pesos, it lasts like 21 days. 50 pesos is like 250.
Careful with all that wire. Exposed wire. Right. I feel like I need a hard hat. I got my work boots on. I know. Boom. I know. Did you hit your head? Of course you did. Of course you did.
Teenagers to hang out with me. Well, I know, but
You guys ready?
Yeah. Well, Ben and Paloma are still upstairs. We're moving, Ben, Paloma. So this is the male, the section for the males, and Blue doesn't feel comfortable with us ladies in here with all these men, so he wants to move us through quickly. Oh.
Did you collect babies?
yeah, I collect everywhere I go. They start
Thank you.
Después voy a traer una abogada para que les dé enseñanzas de que pueden pedir asilo político en Canadá. Para que se vayan a Canadá y no estén aquí cruzando. Ya le había dicho. Les voy a traer una abogada mexicana que sabe. Pues yo creo que el lunes o el martes les voy a traer. These are schedules
These
for
are cleaning schedules? Yes, okay.
Les voy a
That's what
traer
I
una abogada
thought.
para que sepan, ¿ok? Sí, para que se vayan a Canadá y no estén cruzando para Estados
Very
Unidos, estén
nice.
arriesgando.
Clean.
I'm telling everybody that, I'm telling everybody that I'm going to bring a lawyer later so they can get coached to go and put the political asylum to Canada.
Yes.
You're gonna go to
Canada
Canada?
and Mexico
Oh,
are together.
Canada.
So they want to go
Gotta
to
learn
Canada.
that.
Canada. They're right there. They're going to go to Canada. Canada. That's what we're doing.
Bye, guys.
Se los voy a traer la abogada.
Gracias.
I got lost. Let's go this way.
Yeah. Look right here.
Ah, here he comes. They got bathrooms right here.
things you take for granted.
Right?
When everything gets all packed up and everything, this is like a tent.
Okay.
It's closed up like a circus. You close everyone. and
Okay.
you put, little
For like
tents.
church and stuff, or?
No, it's for the immigrants.
Watch
Oh.
out for that dog. He bit me the other day.
Okay. So you close it off just so that they can sleep
Close
in
it up and
there, or?
we do like little camp houses.
Oh, camps. Like tents and stuff. Gotcha. So when they fill up, guys, they use this big, like, circus tent, and they fill it with like camping tents.
They got the lights up there. So it has electricity to it. Some guy offered to give him food, got her pregnant, and he left her.
So this is the church services in here?
Church, where we have some meetings and we have meetings with everyone. Then we do outreach and we open here.
Oh, wow. Who built these doors?
We open the door.
Who built them?
We did.
Those are really nice.
Yeah, it was with that idea that we do outreach or something. There's music here, have tables, people eat here.
That's really great. That's awesome.
So that was the main idea.
Gotcha.
That's how we're doing it here at the church.
So we missed your service this morning?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It's over. Good.
Jeremy said he wanted to say something.
He needs to repent.
Testimony. There, read the Bible for you guys.
Let's go see the storage room that he has.
Okay.
Storage room for the donations.
This is a mobile kitchen.
Okay.
We just haul it up and everything and then do outreach where the immigrants are.
So how did the migrants find you?
Well,
Or do you go and find them?
well, actually, when the caravan came with 7,000 people, we were going over there giving food.
Right.
We were feeding 2,000 people there. We didn't have enough for everyone. And then all of a sudden, they had to get out of the park. It rained. Then all of a sudden, they needed a place to stay. So little by little.
That's when you decided to open this place up for a shelter?
Yeah.
Hot dogs. Hola. Hola. The dining room. Hola.
This is the pharmaceutical for clothing and storage. This is one of the rooms for donations.
Gotcha. So, like the public donates, so just people.
Here, basically, I have a whole bunch of different churches and organizations. Actually, when it shut down that warehouse that they were by downtown Tijuana, everybody came here, and I had donations from people that I don't even know.
Really? Oh
So
wow.
here we have a little bit of everything.
Okay, so
Rice, beans. These are like children's clothing, men's clothing, women's. So we have a little bit.
so do they get to come and pick what they want, or do you disperse it as they need it?
No,
Or
every time that someone comes and everything, we give them their towel.
you give them like a package of what they need?
Hygienes and soap and everything that they need.
Mind your way.
Basically, that's how we organize.
Gotcha. Lots of people.
Shelters.
Lots of people, guys. So,
Tour, and then we're going to go and have a kind of a closed
This is pretty.
yeah, this is good.
conversation with them as well. So stay tuned for that. We're in Tijuana.
Oi,
Thank you. Watch your step, guys.
That's part of his office.
thank you.
That's part of a mess.
Oh wow.
I have a little bit of.
Oh, you have cameras everywhere?
everything. Yeah, this is for our security and everything. That you get to see everything that's going around, what's happening,
Right.
for everyone's security. So here I have like the soaps and toothpaste,
Hygiene items.
hygienes for women's, everything, a little bit of
Wow.
everything that we could give everyone.
Wow. Mind your way. Lots of stuff.
Where?
Right behind you. We're looking for the fences.
This is the next computer room that you got for
It's like another
creation of
kitchen
for the
here.
kids. Yeah, this is another kitchen.
So another work.
This is
kitchen's
basically
a working kitchen.
yeah. This is the old kitchen. Now they're trying to make the new kitchen. And it's the one that has got donated.
So you can't bring food or drink into the computer room?
No,
No.
not in the computer room.
Prohibido. I know that one.
Prohibido.
I know that one.
Kumar is food.
Comer.
Eating.
Come here. Silencio. Silence.
And then you must maintain the area clean. And then throw away your trashes, basura. I know that. Have to leave that.
So we're going into the pastor's office now for a sit-down interview.
So many keys. Get mixed up.
So many keys and one lock.
You should get them all on one.
Yeah, I need to put numbers on them.
On their phones. She's FaceTiming. I did. I photobombed.
He's gonna see us some boobs, and he's gonna be like, "What the hell's going on?"
Tell us the truth. Who's watching this live? The info. We'll believe you.
Okay, that's okay.
We'll believe you.
We can go out front.
Well, here.
Say, yeah, let's go. Let me go.
We're gonna go in here.
Oh, we lost Ben already.
Where's Paloma?
I think she's outside. Come in.
Excuse me. You're stuck on my elbow.
You want to sit over here?
Well, we could get more chairs. We have more chairs over there.
No, that's great.
Whoever wants to sit.
You need more chairs? We have more chairs over there.
Okay. If you want more, you want to sit?
We have more chairs.
Over here, you got a chair.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Hey, so-
Okay.
Thank you for having us here.
Sure, sure.
We appreciate your time.
Yeah, we have to, oh, they opened the door over there.
No, pues ahorita si quieren cuando terminamos.
Afterwards. Yeah, we could do that afterwards.
So between the week, we had an interview with Pastor Alberto. First of all, I want to tell you guys that he was the one that, because of him, there was an incident in one of the shelters that we had a lot of activists and radical activists right here in the area of Tijuana, and he was the one that brought peace between those, that was happening. And after that, he had a bunch of trouble with some activists coming over here, in organizations, and there was a pretend kidnapping from an organization, and there was lawyers coming and making fake marriages for them to cross legally through the United States. The pastor was evidencing all of it, and the video that you guys saw on the feed was the pastor doing the coverage. So whatever question you guys want to ask him.
So he was the one who actually went up to the car?
Yes, he was the one that confronted them. He was the one that confronted this activist, this radical activist.
This was River
Dorothy.
Can you tell us about that, a little bit about that?
Well, it's a long story, but we were in the middle of when the shelter opened down right there at Benito
Juarez?
Benito Juarez, that had to do with the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
A senator called Jaime Bonilla, he called me up and he see if we could help out right there with the shelter and help out with the immigrants. So we agreed, and we helped out with some food and organizing a little bit. And then there was a little bit of there was too many chiefs and very few Indians. So we were just giving donations, but basically we were just out of there just helping people. And then at the end, the place was shut down because of health reasons, and when it was shut down for health reasons, it was like condemned. No one could be right there at that shelter. What happened is that the activist groups, the immigrants, actually the activists asked the activist group that they wanted to be there. They said, "Can you stay with us? Because the Mexican government will not dare to come and kick us out of here if there's Americans inside the warehouse." So the activists said, "Okay, we're not moving out. We're going to just stay here." And then the federal police was telling me, "Pastor, could you please tell the Americans to get out of there? The place is condemned."
Was this the location that they were?
The 5th of May, yes.
Okay.
And this was Antifa? The Antifa? No.
There was different all kind of different activists that were there. There were a mixture of different activist organizations there. So the federal government told me, tell them to get out of there, and then they told me, well, the immigrants are saying that if we leave, they're gonna take us out and kick us out of here by force. So they're telling us to stay here.
These are the activists.
The activists told me that. So the activist said, "Well, we're going to stay here because the immigrants are saying if we leave, they're going to kick them out of here by force. They're going to use force on them. So we're going to stay here as a protest. And we're going to stay." So I told the federal government and police and everything, that they're going to stay here. They want to stay there. And one of the federal police said, "Oh, these activists or these people, at 3 o'clock in the morning, they'll get tired, they'll leave, and then we could come in and just." But it didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. And then they got some attorneys, and when they got an attorney, they wanted to do what they call an amparo. that's like an appeal. And the Mexican system is a little bit way different than the U.S. system. If they grant you an amparo, you could fight for that legal right and everything. You could fight for 2, 3, sometimes even 5 years. That means that you could
Stay there.
You could stay with the warehouse
Right.
for 3, 4, 5 years while you're fighting the case and everything. So the lawyer told them, stay here. We're gonna go see another judge and see if we could get an amparo. If we get that the amparo, then you could be here for 2, 3 years, maybe 5 years. We could fight the case, and you guys will have this warehouse free and everything. So basically that's what happened.
Those are our Mexican legal loopholes.
Mexican loopholes.
Those are loopholes. Amparos is how we operate in Mexico.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So basically what happened is that when all this, everything was getting all together and everything, the federal police were mad because they had already said that they were going to get out. But when the attorney told them, no, we're going to fight the case and everything, they did not keep their word with the federal government, kicked out. So the federal police were very angry. They said, wait a minute, you said you were going to get out. Now you're not getting out. What's going on and everything? And so I was in the middle and everything. So I went to find out. I told the federal police, okay, it's not that they're not keeping their word with you. Basically what they're doing is that their attorney told them they want their court date and they want to do the appeal. It's just going to take 2-3 days to wait 2-3 days, see what the other attorney says, and whatever the other judge says. If they say get out, well, they'll get out. If not, they're going to fight the case and everything. So they fought the case, and basically what happened is that the Mexican government got a little bit angry and everything, and then they started. They did not want non-profit organizations to bring food. They were like cutting a lot of food donations.
They wanted them out.
They were cutting their time to go use the restroom, and they did not want to allow them to go use the restroom. So they did an appeal, and they were saying that they were saying that Mexican were violating their rights, and they were like being held hostage there. That they were being like held hostage, and that they're being deprived of their liberty.
Wow.
So that was their case, and also the Mexican government is not allowing us to bring food, people bring food to us and everything, and using the restroom. So on the appeal, they won part of the appeal, but they lost the other part. The judge said, okay, it's an order from the judge. The federal police must allow any organization that wants to bring food to them. They have a right to eat. Also, they have a right to use the restroom anytime that they want. So you have to give them a right to use the restroom. And on your appeal that you're saying that you're being deprived of your liberty, the judge said, no, that's not right. Basically, they're saying, get out, you're free, and everything. You're the one that wants to stay on the property. You want to stay there and everything, so you do not win that appeal. So the attorney said, okay, let's go to another judge and see if we could win the other appeal with another judge. So it extended. They did not keep their word. It was a big problem with federal police. They said, oh, they're playing mind games with us. They're making negotiations. Things are not working out. At the end, what came out that they were kicking people out, that when they get out, they would not allow them to come back to the warehouse. So then suddenly I was right in the middle, so I talked to the federal police. Look, there's some people inside there, inside the warehouse, and the people that are inside the warehouse, it's a possibility that they want to go to a shelter. Why don't we do this? Let's negotiate. Could you allow me to take 1 family, 2 families, and everything? I'll take them down to my shelter. If they want to go there, okay, they'll stay. But if they don't want to stay at our place, can you allow them to come back inside the warehouse? Would that work? I said, no problem. So we did that, and that's how we got 50 other immigrants to come down over here, negotiating little by little. Everyone started to see what we're doing.
How long have you been running this facility?
Since October, when
the caravan came.
When the caravan came.
Oh, okay. So that's when they approached you and asked you to.
Yeah, that's when they were saying that they needed a place to stay, if we could house them, and so that's when we started negotiating with them.
So they're not able to work, right? They can't work.
No,
because-
here I have like 25% of the immigrants that are here. They have jobs. We do some interview with them, and we tell them, okay, what's your profession, what do you work, and everything. And then some businessmen and different persons come and they say they need constructors or they need someone for some kind of job, and we have somebody that does that. And we just sort out and see the ones that are doing very well and everything, and we recommend, and they get jobs.
Going back to the incident with River and what's going on. So I'm really interested to know on the organizations that are behind the smuggling and the human trafficking. And
Well, I had the problem is with it's Caravan Support Network. The Caravan Support Network. That's the problem. When we came down over here, that everybody negotiated, and everybody from the warehouse came to our property, our nonprofit, and this Agape. The activists, they wanted to be here. They wanted to be part of it. And I'm sorry, this is our shelter. We have everything under control. They said, they need protection and everything. Can we do 24-hour watch on the property?
So they couldn't control them anymore.
No, they couldn't control them.
Right.
So when they came here, they wanted to take control of our shelter.
And are there specific groups? You mentioned the
Caravan Support Network.
Is that one group, or is that a mixture of groups working together?
Well, they coordinate with different groups together.
Do you know any of the other names?
Well, they're together. They coordinate sometimes with Border Angels, a whole bunch of different activist groups. So many came that
and from the United States.
Yeah, everyone's from the U.S. That's where I have problems. I had problems with the U.S. activists, radical there were some that were from Antifa that were mixed all together. So they're very extremists.
What were they doing here?
Well, basically, I had problems. The first rule that I had down over here. Okay, this is a nonprofit organization. There's no smoking, no drinking, and we don't allow that. And all of a sudden they said, wait a minute, I'm over 18, I have a right to smoke. I'm sorry, this is private property. If you're gonna smoke, you smoke outside, but not here. Wait a minute, you can't take away that right. I'm over 18. I'm sorry, this is a nonprofit. So they said, well, also, I have a right to drink beer and everything. I have a right and everything. I'm over 21 and everything. You can't take away that right. Wait a minute, this is private property. You cannot do it here. I'm sorry. And if that we want to protest, you could do all the protests you want. You could do that over there where it was a government warehouse and everything, that you're over 18, you want to smoke a cigarette, or you're saying that you could drink beer and everything, you're over 21, because it's a government facility and everything, and because you're an adult. This is a private property. I mean, no governmental agency is supporting us, helping us. Nobody's helping us.
Right.
So all of a sudden, some of them did not want to stay with us. They said, okay, we're leaving. One called Frank. He was basically one of the main leaders at the warehouse. He decided not to stay at our shelter, but the spokesman, his name was Nay. He was the spokesman of all the immigrants. He decided to stay with us.
And those were two immigrants. Those were immigrants that were leading.
They're the immigrants that were leading everybody that was there. At the warehouse, but the ones that are controlling and everything are the activists. What's happening is they bring drugs.
Wow.
Crystal. They bring also marijuana.
The Americans
so they're
are
smuggling. The Americans are bringing that down.
Yes.
And like giving it them to the
migrants.
The immigrants, and smoking it with them. And they have become friends. They've been doing it from all the way from Mexico, smoking weed and everything, and dope and everything, and crystal and everything. They come smoking with them. They become friends and everything. So the immigrants, they become addicts, and those that become addicts, the American activists give these dopes to them. They become addicts. When they become addicts, the immigrants that are doing well, that has families, that are doing well, they have families. They don't use drugs. They're not in it. They're intimidated. They're scared and everything. And the ones that use drugs are controlling the families because they're frightened to face up the people that are addicts. And The Americans are the ones that are giving the
Right.
dope.
Have you seen?
That's a big problem.
Have you seen like any smugglers or coyotes come to the shelter
That's
to
the
try to bring,
That's the problem.
like,
that I
hey,
had.
give me $500, I'll get you in right now, or
No, that I did not see. But they did come in a van, and so that they could cross over to the United States and tell them, okay, cross through there.
And these
to the
were
United
were these
States.
the activists?
The
So these were
activists,
Americans
American activists.
coming to your shelter
They came to my
to
shelter.
take people.
They took people, come on in my van and everything. When they took them and everything, people were telling them to cross illegally to the United States and everything. And then some of them did not cross and everything. They came back and everything. I told them, I'm sorry, I'm not going to use my shelter for something like that. And I don't want no coyotes. I don't want no activists or no organization that will come with vans and everything and try to cross illegally into the United States. I don't want no group that's like that, because sooner or later this is going to come back to us. They're probably going to think that I'm part of an organization and everything.
Right.
I mean, if we want to do everything up to the law, we want to do everything correctly, we want to do everything well. So I kicked several I kicked a whole bunch of activists, a whole bunch of groups, fake lawyers, and that they came here. I kicked out a lot of organizations that were coming down over here and taking pictures and videos and putting them in Facebook and everything. Do you want to donate and everything?
Wow.
They were, like, raising up money like
Yeah.
on our behalf, like helping me out and everything.
Right.
They weren't helping me out, or I wasn't receiving anything. I
Right.
thought, get out, you're doing all this. So it was a big problem that we were going through.
So what I'm really trying to get to the bottom of is what is causing, like, the start to the finish. So we've got this huge influx of immigrants coming up. We've been told that they're doing advertisements and enticing people to come up from Central America. And then we're also hearing things like they're working with the cartels to transport people, to smuggle people. Can you get in? Do you know any of that? Like, have you?
There's a lot of what's really going on. They're like coordinating. There's a lot of coordinating. A lot of the immigrants that have come here, when they were entering into Mexico, they told them to sign a document and that they were going to get a free representative, for attorneys, a lawyer, and everything. They told them, okay, we're going to get a lawyer for you and everything, and that's, if you sign here, that's your entrance, that you're going to enter into the United States, political asylum. You have an attorney and everything. A whole bunch of them signed a document stating that, and once they got here to the border and everything, they knew it wasn't like that. So they really had very high hopes and everything.
Why?
It was automatically that they were going to enter into the United States.
Why do you think these groups are doing this?
Well, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money that's being filtered. Let's say there's a whole bunch of non-profit organizations. What happened is, I have had immigrants here that Mexican gives them your visa, like let's say a humanitarian visa here. So they get their humanitarian visa from Mexico. All of a sudden, attorneys come and non-profit organizations that work together with the attorneys, and they say, oh, we could represent you free and everything. They take their pictures, their ID, their pictures and everything. And sometimes they even tell the immigrants, can I keep your Mexican visa that you have here? Because when you go to the United States, apply for political asylum, the United States will break your Mexican visa and everything. So let it with us, we'll keep it.
so they're manipulating
So
them.
what happened is they put it up on the web. I have so many families and everything to represent someone. I need $4,000, $3,000, $5,000.
And they make money off of it.
People be donating a whole bunch of money
Right.
and everything. And then there's a lot of fake attorneys that not doing
Right.
things correctly, and basically they just go to court. When you go to court and everything, and they don't qualify for one thing or another, they say, well, okay, well, you gave me the money and everything. I represented him, but he didn't qualify. He just got deported. He's still they're making their money. That's why you see a whole bunch of people. You go down at the border at Chaparral, you see a whole bunch of activists there going with the people that are getting a number and telling, oh, do you have an attorney and everything? Oh, I could represent you. We have someone that could represent you and everything. They're getting some kind of cut there. So it's a big issue.
Right.
I have a matrimony here. I have a matrimony here with us that they're saying, okay, he qualifies, but she doesn't qualify. You're not husband and wife, but you guys have been living together. So that both of you could qualify, I can marry you.
Wow.
So the attorneys there are telling him, okay, I
They're
can
trying to
you
marry them
because you could qualify entering into the United States
as a
if
couple.
you're matrimony because you're being threatened and you have a case, but she doesn't.
Well,
or he does, she does, and he doesn't.
Well, here's like what we're seeing is I live in Arizona in the U.S. and we're seeing them as they are able to just run through the desert. We don't have the big, fences and walls. So when they're apprehended, they're released into the churches, and we see mostly men with a little kid, men with a small child. And we noticed, a lot of these families are actual families, like, with multiple children and parents and brothers and siblings. Are you seeing a lot of single men with children come through here?
There's few. They're not
Right.
They're not much, but there are few that.
Pastor,
That's all we see.
Can you elaborate a little bit on what happened with the trafficking of this guy, River Dorothy, and this unaccompanied children that you've been getting over here? But can you elaborate a little bit on what happened with this activist? And can you elaborate a little bit on the fake marriages that you encounter here, and that you went to the government right here in Tijuana to tell everybody that they were.
Before you do that, can you give me just a second?
Yes.
Sorry. I'm out of storage.
I know everyone's like, Facebook cut off Ben. Ben's gone. Where'd Ben go? I'm like, calm down,
Él es el
people.
más famoso de todos, y ella. De los más famosos.
Pues si ya me conocías, no te lo tienes que decir.
Ya empiece. ¿Cómo la ves? Debe empezar.
Then you chop liver and they want Ben.
Alright.
Captain America right there.
That's it.
You need a battery?
No, I'm out of storage.
Don't you hate that?
Those apple things.
You gotta
Those
delete.
Apple things.
That's right.
That's right, huh?
Yeah.
Peyton. For like girls.
Come on,
Are you
man.
calling Ben a girl right
Come
now?
on, man. What's wrong with that?
So were you,
Restroom? Oh.
ever in fear for your safety or your life or
Well,
anything?
I have here in this colonial over 20 years, and this used to be the landfill.
Yes.
That all the trash from Tijuana used to come here. So we have over 50, we have over 20 years working here and everything. We were crossing over back then in the border over 40 tons of food. And we were giving everyone food and the colonia, the people that were working in the city dump and everything, and rehab centers. So everyone knows us very well. So we have strong roots here and a very strong relationship with everyone here. So on that, I'm not
And
feeling.
have
Okay.
delete some pictures.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Okay.
So I was asking Pastor if you can elaborate a little bit about what happened with the activist River Dorothy, that he gave you a lot of problems. First of all, he gave you a lot of problems. Second of all, that you encounter a fake marriage, and you were the one that you fronted this fake lawyers and took this case to the Mexican government. Can you tell us a little bit about how these people wanted to traffic the kid and how you caught River Dorothy red-handed with the kid?
Oh, the kid.
Well, basically what happened is I had the minors here. When I had the minors here, he's 14 years old, no mom, no dad. Some of the immigrants did not like him and everything. They were accusing him of being a thief. Well, he don't have no mom, no dad. We're trying to give him as much as we can. And, well, I don't justify him taking things away and everything. So then Nai's son, which is Frank, that was the spokesman right there at the warehouse and everything, he wanted to kick the boy out of here, out of our shelter. He needs to get out of the shelter and everything. He's a thief and everything. And then the boy, defending himself, are saying to the activists and the leaders, the leadership of Nay, Frank, and the leadership of the activists, saying, you and you are the ones that are bringing drugs here to the shelter, and you calling me a thief.
The boy said this?
The boy said that, the 14-year-old. So then suddenly about 15 immigrants and everything, they started threatening the boy. You're a rat, you know what they do to the rats and everything. They torture rats, they do this and that. I got involved and I said, wait a minute, he said, unaccompanied minor, you do not do that. You need to get out of our shelter. I do not permit that here. The police got involved, the police officers came over here. What they did is they called activist groups, some activist group and everything, and River Dorothy's group came down over here, and they said, okay, we're going to rent a hotel for them, and they're going to go to the hotel and everything. So when the activist groups came and everything, they went on one side, they talked to the boy, and one way or another, when we turned our backs and everything, they took the boy. They took the boy with the people that were threatening them, with Dorothy and everyone, and Dorothy and the group and everything. They were the ones that smuggling drugs here and everything. So I was frightened for the boy. They said, wait a minute,
Right.
they're smuggling drugs inside here, and they're taking the boy and everything. Right. The boy's security is at hand and everything. I got to social media. I told them, look, I give you 3 days for you to bring this boy back. If not, I'm going to report him. The 3 branches of government in Mexico turned the boy into me. When they shut down the warehouse, all the 3 branches of Mexico agreed that everyone was going to come with me. He's an unaccompanied minor. I have to give an accountability to the authorities here in Mexico. What happened with the boy, if he's missing or where did he go. So I'm going to report it. They did not believe me. I went to the press. We came out here on the press on the entire state. This boy is missing. Okay, these are some activist groups that took him, and there were some pictures flowing. River Dorothy calls me by phone next day, and he tells me, Pastor, do I need to leave Mexico? Do you think they're looking for me? I told him, I have no idea how Mexican authorities work here. And then they did not bring the boy back. We were communicating through social media. Oh, give him the boy back. You guys should turn the boy back. They said, no, I don't want to turn the boy back, because if you turn the boy back, they're going to turn him to Div. Div is going to take him to Mexican immigration. Mexican immigration are going to deport the boy, and we don't think that it's to the best interest of the boy to be down over there, so we're going to keep the boy. And then some other ones say, wait a minute, that's like kidnapping. The government gave authority to the pastor for the boy and everything, and you cannot just keep the boy. Everything came out, and we don't want no federales or no police, Mexican police, to be after our group and everything. Please give the boy back. And they did not want to, so then I received a call. They told me they were going to give me the boy back the next day. So I was here, I was waiting, and one of the activist groups told me, okay, River Dorothy's a block and a half away from here. You could go down over there. He's in the vehicle. The boy's there. The boy is not kidnapped. There's no problem with the boy. You can go see the boy. I told him, no, you took him from my shelter. You need to bring him here. So they said, okay, we're going to bring him back. They never did. So I got really worried. So I went down to the Honduras embassy. I reported the boy. I went with an attorney. The attorney with the Ramon Aboites. He's like State Bar Association president here in Mexico. Ramon Aboites. I went with him. Also with the embassy. And in the embassy, we wanted to see if we could do an Amber Alert on the boy, because we were concerned. Right. But we needed to confirm his identity, make sure that he's from Honduras. The press got involved. I took some pictures. I put it in social media. I put it to these activist groups and tell them, look, I'm here with the embassy. I'm here with the attorney. We're going to go for an Amber Alert. So everyone was scared and everything. We don't want an Amber Alert. Please turn this boy back and everything. So next day, when that happened, the embassy representative of the embassy came here from Honduras. They were talking to the immigrants. Telemundo was asking them questions about the boy, what was happening with the boy. They left, and then suddenly when they left, River Dorothy's group comes down over here. He doesn't come. He stays outside, but he sends some of his people with the boy. About 15 of them came rushing in my office.
So you got the boy back?
Put the boy against me. Against me now that... against me, and the boy said that he doesn't want to be with us no more and everything. So I told him, wait a minute, anyway, I need to call the authorities. It's out of my hands. Everything's reported and everything. So I'm calling. Telemundo's out there like filming, but in a little phone. He doesn't have a big camera. Now suddenly they start running outside. I start chasing them behind, and when I chase them behind, Telemundo's chasing behind. I'm calling 911. Hey, this is what's happening. Their boy is here, and they're taking them again, and everything. So, 1 block away from here, there was a taxi came. About 6 of them got inside the taxi with the boy and everything. I stopped the taxi. Hey, they're the ones that came out on television looking for the boy. You cannot leave. Taxi driver said, get out. 911 is telling me, okay, why don't you go to the shopping center? There's a police station there. You could get backup. They could help you. The boy starts running towards that shopping center where the police station is at. River Dorothy, with another friend of his, with another station wagon, comes into the parking lot and everything. Tells everyone, hop on, hop on. Everybody hops on in the vehicles and everything. I'm in 911. Hey, stop this guy. Telemundo's filming behind.
Oh my gosh.
Telemundo's filming behind. I'm recording it on the other side. All of a sudden, the police stops, gets about 20 of them. This activist group, they stop everyone. When they stop everyone, I said, okay, well, here's the boy that was missing and everything. And later on, they told us, okay, we got to go down to see the judge and see what's happening. And Telemundo followed me, and then another television crew sent us to follow us also. We went to the court. We were with the judge. When we were with the judge said everybody out of the room, and I want to talk privately with the boy. The boy got scared, started running out of the courthouse. The police, hey, calm down, boy. They were following him. Then the activists were after the boy also, and then Telemundo was after the boy, and then also Synthesis Television was after the boy. Why was there after the boy? It was a big drama. The boy later on put out a little switchblade on 2 police officers, and the activists told him, calm down, and took the switchblade away from him. At the end, the police takes the boy. I had to go do a declaration with Human Protective Agency.
Wow.
Of the boy, to what was happening and everything. Basically, here in Mexico, the laws and everything is way different.
Right.
Here in Mexico, you have to have a court case, or you have to report something, but the municipal police does not have the authority to investigate. So all these people that were taking the boy and everything, all the activists, they let them go. The only one that got caught was the boy, but they released everybody, all the activists, no problem at all. So the boy, Deep took the boy in. When they took the boy in, I came down here. 4 days later, the federales come, federal police, telling me that the boy escaped from Deep. If I know who has the boy, which persons and everything, I tell them that, well, I don't know. I went to social media and say, okay, the federales are looking for the boy. I do not know where's the boy. Anyone seen him? The activists tell me, oh, I saw the boy at the YMCA. I go down to La Procuraduría with authorities here. I tell them the boy is in YMCA. That's what the activists say and everything. They take my statement, sign everything, and then they tell me, okay, what happened is this. Deef took the boy, but turned the boy into Mexican immigration. Mexican immigration grabbed the boy and turned the boy to the YMCA. And the boy escaped from the YMCA. But the activist groups has a very strong relationship with the YMCA. Wow. So what happened is when the boy escaped from the YMCA, later on, the activist, the same lady that's on the video, that's with the boy, catches the boy, gets the boy, crosses illegally into the United States, gets caught by the United States immigration, and they were like in detention center. And the detention center, they're over there.
So the boy crossed illegally through the United States, and they crossed him.
The activist crossed him.
The activist crossed him?
The activist got caught.
Wow.
Crossing together with the boy over there.
And was River a part of that, the crossing? Do you know if he was one of the ones that got caught?
No, he didn't get caught.
So,
Pastor,
I'll have to look him up.
River has a warrant for his arrest over here in Mexico?
Not to my knowledge.
So he's free in the United States he did kidnapping over here, and he's free in the United States.
Well, I gave all these videos and everything to the United States. And
so where's the boy, in the U.S.?
The boy, according to my understanding, what happened is, some of our immigrants, they got their number, they went to court, and then they got their interview, and then they got deported back here for a court date, and they saw the boy over there with the activist group that they got caught trying to cross him illegally.
So why are they these activist groups? That's it appears that there's this move to overwhelm the system. In America, we have President Trump declared the national emergency, that there's a crisis. Do you see it as a crisis? What do you see, and what do you see the solutions? And also, why do you think are they making money on the smuggling of the kids? Like, what could they be getting out of smuggling a kid across? Are they selling him once they get here?
What you're saying, what's the motive?
Yeah.
Okay, there was a big motive. The motive of kidnapping the boy and taking the boy is the one that's saying these activist groups that are doing fundraising and getting a whole bunch of money from a whole bunch of Americans.
So they're using him.
That they believe that these activist groups are well intended to help and everything. All these activist groups and everything that are and people that support them and help them, they believe they have good intention, what they're doing, and they're giving money, but they do not know that this group is giving dope and crystal and everything to the immigrants and everything, and instead of helping the immigrants, all they're doing is just chaos.
Right.
That's basically, and that's why they took the boy. They don't want this to come out.
Right.
What happened with the Caravan Support Network? All suddenly they say they don't exist no more. They changed names to Border Support Network. Because nobody want to give them money no more.
Right.
Can you elaborate for them what happened with the fake marriage that you encounter and all these fake lawyers that are coming over here regarding al otro lado and all these lawyers that are coming from America over here to try to get marriages fixed up in the document that you found that it was a false document of a marriage?
Yeah, I have a family here. They got they told them that they were that for them to qualify for political asylum in the United States, the man qualified, but not the woman. So he said, if you guys marry, both of you could qualify. So they married them. When they married them, all of a sudden they brought the paperwork. I did a cake. I did a celebration for them and everything. Then I went to the president of the State Bar Association, which is a good friend of mine, Ramon Aboites. I took him the documentation of the marriage that Al Otro Lado lawyers did, and everything. He said, this is fake. For you to marry somebody in Mexico, you have to go to like county recorder's office and civil, and have a civil certificate that you really did get married. That's the procedure here, and this is fake. They're not married.
How are they doing it again? It's not at the Registro Civil. Where were they doing it?
No, all they do is the attorneys. They bring people from the United States. The attorneys themselves are marrying people. They're giving a certificate from the U.S. And what they do is, there's in Honduras, there's a law that states that once you have more than 3 years being together, you are automatically husband and wife. But you have to sign a documentation. We've been living more than 3 years together. I'm doing this under penalty of perjury and everything that I say, my statement is correct and everything. Sign here. We have over 3 years, and automatically that becomes like husband and wife. Well, the attorneys of Al Otro Lado are giving these documents to the immigrants and say, sign here, you're husband and wife. Then here's your number. You go to the web page. Look for the web page. Okay, this is our law firm. Go to the law firm. This is my web page.
And these are American law firms.
American law
Yeah,
firm.
we've seen that.
So basically practicing law in Mexico.
Here, practicing law here.
Which is illegal.
Right.
That's illegal.
Wow.
And they're telling you, okay,
what was the name of the law firm?
El Otro Lado.
El Otro
Lado.
On the other side.
They're the ones in Chicago.
They're the ones
they're
that
connected
they had,
with
Well, you wanted, remember you wanted to go?
Fronteras and
yeah,
Central
and the one, the person, a lawyer that got caught on Guadalajara on the airport, that they had the
deported.
government, that they got deported because of the government of the United States, told everybody that they were not allowed in Mexico. That was one of them.
And they're having a big sob story.
Yes,
Yeah,
and the other one was deported from here from the border of San Isidro. They would
Right.
not out her. to come in.
Now the news is how sad, how terrible it is that the administration's not letting them back in.
Yeah, but the thing is this, that when that happened, the family found out it's a fake marriage. Then they found out also that there are several families that El Otro Lado lawyers have married. The United States, when they go over there, apply for political asylum, they say, wait a minute, you're really not married. You're giving me false information, deportation. And a lot of people been being deported. So this family decided, wait a minute, I don't want to be deported. I know people that have been deported for fake marriage, and mine's is fake. I need to go to the Mexican authorities and say that these are fake lawyers that are deceiving me, married me falsely, so I could apply for the United States and everything. So we went together to the Mexican government, filed a police report with the documentation of that the attorney gave them, with also that law firm that says you go to our webpage, this is your password, this is your name, and right there you could see in your case your husband and wife and how we were representing you. When you go to court and everything, you know how we were representing you. So he took everything down to the federales here, filed a police report. The federales told him, look, this that you're doing, first of all, this law firm doesn't exist. It's not true. It doesn't exist. Well, El Otro Lado doesn't exist as a law firm because they're from the United States. They cannot practice here. So then they're saying, wait a minute, also, they did not ask money from you, right? So how did you get deceived? Or where did they break the law? Okay, what they do is they get your name and everything, put it up on the web page and everything. Okay, I need $4,000 to represent someone. Somebody gives them the money, they represent them. So Mexico say, nobody, I don't see nobody breaking the law here and everything. Yeah, but he's going to get problems in the United States and get deported. Oh, if he take that document, immigration in the United States are going to say he's into it.
But all of these organizations, or suppose these attorneys in the U.S. that are doing this, should lose their law license or be prosecuted.
The problem is they're committing everything in Mexican territory. They're not doing it in the U.S.
Right. Well, that's a crime in America, though, too. Practicing law outside, you don't have, you can't.
Well, the problem is I do not know what the State Bar Association in the U.S. is doing. That's a different issue. That's a different issue, and it needs to be reported down to the State Bar Association.
Have you been able to take the people, like, do you have names of the supposed attorneys? Has that been transferred over to the State Bar Associations?
The person, I have the matrimony that this happened to. He gave all the paperwork, and then right there when you enter into the web page, it says what attorney is it, what attorney it is. And everything. I don't know the attorney. He does. He knows who saw them.
I'd love to get that and report it.
So, well, I think I have the paperwork here.
Can we get a copy?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't. There's no problem. And then I have the family here. So the family, they got a number. They went down to the U.S. They told, okay, look, this is what's happening with my case. They married me falsely and everything. The U.S. said, no, you're saying this so you could enter into the United States and everything. I don't believe you. He said, no. I have my case personally for political asylum. But this happened to me. I need to tell you because I want you to believe my story, that what's happening to me is true. But this also happened here with the fake attorneys.
Right, so it doesn't come back and...
So he got another court date. He got deported back into Mexico. He's here with us. He's here with us right now.
Oh, the guy's still here?
Yeah, he's here with me. He has a court date that he needs to go back and see the judge. Wow. Go see the judge down over there. So basically what happened is this. The United States, they saw all this evidence of this fake marriage and everything, of this law firm and everything. They started doing searches and they started looking, this law firm, how many cases. The thing is this, all these fake marriages are people that just got married 3 months ago, 5 months since October.
Since the caravan came.
Since the caravan came.
All of a sudden.
So all of a sudden, a whole bunch of people just decided to
Right.
get married.
Yeah.
In Tijuana.
So now, the United States is investigating, oh, this is kind of strange. They're saying they're husband and wife, political asylum, and all of a sudden they just decided to get married.
All from the same similar law firms.
And this law firm and everything, I need to investigate and see and do a search and everything. So what
It just
happened?
became the new Las Vegas.
Right.
So what happened? All suddenly, this attorney called Norma something, I forget her name. She's down in Los Angeles, California. She gets a plane fare. She gets a plane ticket to go down to Guadalajara, Mexico, to enter into Mexico. According to everyone here, the immigrants and everything. Oh, you go down over there. And the immigrants, the new caravan that's coming, she was going to meet the other new caravan that's coming over here to go to Tijuana. We got attorneys for you. The United States found out about it, put a red alert. When she goes down to Mexican authorities and everything, a red alert, you can't enter. She got deported back.
Good.
She made a big deal out of it. She started crying.
Right.
And all that it was unfair.
Yeah.
They wanted
Being
to sue
discriminated
they wanted to
against,
sue the President Trump and all this stuff.
Right.
Wow. And all the while they're manipulating this system down here to undermine our immigration process in America.
So it's a big problem of everything that came out to light out of this matrimony. But these are very big problems. The other problem that we have is there's minors here that are not accompanied. No mom, no dad, and everything. Okay, they're being promised that they're going to help them out to cross to the United States. The problem that's happening with unaccompanied minors is that they're bringing them down over here, but there's very extremist activist groups that don't believe in the rule of law here in Mexico or nowhere at all. They always think that they're right and everything. They don't feel that they need to be supervised and everything. So what they're saying is, okay, these unaccompanied minors, if DEEF gets them, or a non-profit organization gets them, or an orphanage gets them, they're going to report them to DEEF, and then they could deport them back to the back to their country where they're coming from. So they say, well, okay, to protect the child, I'm going to rent an apartment, I'm going to rent a home, and I'm going to keep these kids. And don't report, nobody oversees them.
Right.
There's no intelligence organization here in Mexico that's targeting or looking or searching for activist groups that have unaccompanied minors or have minors in shelters that DEEF and government with no regulation at all.
If money's the number one cause, what would prevent them from just selling these kids?
Well, that's the problem
Right.
that we have here in Mexico. In Tijuana,
Right.
prostitution is legal.
So is there any evidence? Is there any
There's a
evidence?
market. You have to watch out. You have to oversee. That's why you need supervision. That's why we need why we need people to oversee all this.
Is there any evidence that that's happening? Do we have that these activist groups are selling the children?
No, that I don't have no evidence of that. I know that there's a lot of activist groups that really feel that what they're doing it's correct and everything, trying to protect the minor, but everyone needs to be overseen. The state have to make sure if you have a minor, he's not your kid and everything. I mean, somebody needs to supervise.
That's just bad.
Somebody needs to supervise. I mean, there's no excuse. There's no excuse on that. And that's what we have been bringing up to the Mexican authorities. I've been bringing up to the Mexican authorities, okay, look, I'm here. I have unaccompanied minors because you guys shut down the warehouse down over there at Benitez. You gave them to me.
Right.
Wow.
I don't have no supervision. You guys are not supervising like you have. So I pressured them. Now I have the Procuraduría here. I have DEEF here. I have everyone monitoring me. Human rights monitoring me. Wow. Even from the UN monitoring me. Everyone. I don't mind. If I have unaccompanied minors, good.
Yeah, you want to make sure
you're look for it. I don't mind. I have no problem with that. The senator came. When the senator came...
That's what I wanted to elaborate a little bit, Pastor.
Right before that, is the UN working... So the other with these groups, these activist groups, and coordinate, because that would be my concern, having some of these human rights organizations that are actually working with some of these activist groups. Have you seen that as well? Just before we.
What, the
The
UN?
problem is
Yeah,
that
the UN being a part of kind of this whole.
the problem is the UN needs to do a very thorough investigation of who these groups are, what they do, what they dedicate on, and everything. That's what I tell everyone here. You know, I get a whole bunch of immigrants and everything, and there's a whole bunch of fake lawyers that
They pop out of nowhere.
Right.
They're gonna ruin your case. They're gonna
Right.
ruin your case. And I tell all the immigrants that come here to our shelter and everything, okay, there's a whole bunch of fake lawyers that they're saying they're gonna do everything for you free and everything. Okay, you need to find out which ones are the legit, the ones that are real good, and the
Right.
ones, because you have the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right. Someone's always going to
And
be
you
able
need
to
to
take
make, you need to
advantage.
make sure, and I'm telling every immigrant that comes here, if you know that law firm or that organization is under government supervision or investigation, FBI, United States or something, why do you want a lawyer that's being investigated by the FBI or something? Go look for yourself for another
Right.
attorney. I tell them it's not to your interest. You need to look for another one. It doesn't matter if it's free and everything. So basically, and I know,
Can I
me
ask
saying
you,
that, probably you get in trouble, no?
last week, it was last week? I think it was last week. Senator Jeff Merkley came over here from the Democrat Party. For me, I'm from Tijuana citizen. I'm like, what the hell? A senator from the United States from the Democrat Party all of a sudden wants to come and visit you. And when he came to visit, you told me that when he was trying to approach you, all these organizations like the human rights and all these people, they didn't want you like to talk to him probably in private. And there was a reason why. When you told them all these things, Pastor, about what is going on with this kidnapping, with this child trafficking, with these lawyers that they're doing fake marriages, with all these things that they're instigating in your shelter, what was his reaction?
Well, the senator was a little bit shocked.
Before you say that, do you believe that he was shocked, or do you believe that he was genuinely shocked, or he was just acting up a little bit?
Well, I believe he was shocked that he wasn't expecting someone that's running a shelter, pro-immigrant,
To be honest about it.
would tell him something like this.
Yeah.
No, I don't know his reaction, but when I told him, okay, there's they are extreme activists that are renting apartments and homes and underground. They're having these kids, no supervision, with no authority and everything. He was a little bit surprised. I told him that I have some of these kids with me. He said, I'm very interested in talking to the kids and finding out. That's one of my main issues. And I told him about problems that we had with some activist groups. But all suddenly, when I'm talking to him, human rights organization comes, DEEF came, Procuraduría came, all different kind of groups and organizations came, and I did not have the freedom to really sit down and speak to the senator as I wanted to. Then we came up. The senator was speaking to all the immigrants, and when he was speaking to all the immigrants and everything, one of the minors, underage minors that have no mom, no dad, she's 15 years old, 6 months pregnant and everything, wanted to talk to the senator. Suddenly I have DEEF, I have the Procuraduría, then suddenly I have human rights and everything. And La Procuraduría was saying, wait a minute, all these cameras are here, all the press is here, and the minors is here and everything. I don't think it's to the best interest for this child to be asking questions to the senator and exposing this child and everything. And I'm from the state, and legally, when there's no mom, no dad, the one that have authority over the child is the state. You have no mom, no dad, the state automatically is the one that's responsible. Right. And me, as being someone that's responsible, I'm saying the child cannot be talking in front of the press and everything. I need your support, Pastor. Please help me and tell these child not to talk to okay, since they're the authority, I told the child not to, and they said, well, they could talk to the senator privately. Later on, we came down over here and to talk to the senator in privately. I talked to Dave. I told him, okay, if the senator wants to talk to the girls and everything. We came down here. When we came down to the office and everything, all of a sudden, I get Dave over here. I get human rights here. I get all kinds of organizations that want to be in the meeting. The senator says, no,
DIF is the one that protects our children here in Mexico.
Okay, so it's like a DHS.
Yeah, exactly.
So they said, no, I need to talk to the child in private. So the ones that was in charge for religious organization and everything, so you don't want me here? He said, no. So he took off, and then human rights said, so you don't want me here? He said, no. And then Dave said, so you don't want me here? No. And then that's when the Procuraduría for the state got involved. And they said, no, we're actually the legal representative for the child when there's no mom and dad. And I don't believe it's to the best interest of the child for someone to speak to the child with us being present and everything. And the senator said, well, how about if the child has a problem or complaint against DIF? And then the state...
Which happens too.
That
it happens
also.
a lot here too.
Yeah.
Because they're awful.
So the state said, the Procuraduría said, well, I need to talk to somebody he's like Jeff Sessions here, what they call him, the Procurador. I need to talk to the Procurador. I'm going to call him right now. And
the Attorney General, yeah.
I'm going to talk to the Attorney General, and I'm going to tell the Attorney General that they're talking to a minor, and we're responsible legally and everything, and I'm going to call him right now. And the senator turned back and said, okay.
Wow.
Like, there's a call. And I told him, okay. He said, okay, call him. Then she humbled herself, and she said, okay, well, can you just allow just one of us to be here? They said, okay. So just one person was allowed, and then the minor was defending herself, and say, okay, I have the same problems that an adult has. The same problems. That when that you're applying for political asylum, and there's so many adults that apply for political asylum for problems that they have, and the United States protect them and give them political asylum. I have the same problem as the adult, but you don't want to accept my application, and you do not want to accept me, and everything. You don't want to protect me. I cannot believe the United States is that way.
Wow.
And the senator said, that's right. So she said that she believes that her rights were being violated. The senator said, yes, he believes the same way. So the only way right now to fix the problem or something, the state has to give the child like a social worker and a psychiatrist, and then give a recommendation, the psychiatrist, and then the child could say, okay, I want to apply for political asylum. Then the state could say, okay, I got the social worker, I have the psychiatrist, and the child wants to go over there, and this is the recommendation of the psychiatrist. Here you go, U.S., apply for political asylum, and U.S. could put psychiatrists on the child or whatever, and just take the determination if they're going to give them political asylum.
Pastor, the senator talked about a little bit of the Trump administration doing something wrongly with this kind of process? He said something in front of it.
Yeah, what he said in front of the senator, what he said in front of everybody.
Hang on one second.
That he does not.
Okay. Say that again.
I was asking the pastor that if Jeff Merkley talked about something about the Trump administration or the President Trump about this issue, that they are not being flexible with all these processes.
Basically what the senator said when he was with all the immigrants and everything, he said that he doesn't agree with that zero tolerance that was declared from the president, and also the detention centers that they had the minors, that he personally went to one of those detention centers and tried to see to make sure for the security of the child and everything. He says he's very interested in the security of the child, whatever child that is, so that's why he went to the detention center for the security of the child. And took him a long time for them to allow him to go in and supervise and make sure, and at the end some of these kids and everything got released and everything. But basically that's what he told everyone here, so that he's fighting and seeing for the best interest of the child.
What do you think it's going to take to stop what we see going on? The just this constant wave where you have the activist groups going down, telling people to keep coming, and then they're here, and now you have the problems with the shelters having to deal with it, and then the activists trying to get them to smuggle them across. What do you think the solution is?
Well, basically, the main problem is, in part, it's a little bit U.S. law. The U.S. is the one that has the problem, the law that they have. A whole bunch of people and lawyers, and they give a whole bunch of recommendations, and they said, okay, you guys cross 1,000 at once. Everybody cross all at once, and then suddenly it doesn't matter if you do it in front of the INS officer and everything.
Right.
All you do is just lift up your hands. Political asylum. The law states that you have your right to go see a judge, to have your day in court.
Right.
The law also states that if you apply, you could apply for political asylum anywhere in the United States, as long as you're there. Okay, don't sign a document that say volunteer deportation. No, you want your day in court. So they have to keep you in detention center. They need to listen to your case. The problem that happened is that so many people are doing it this way.
Right.
And like everyone in my shelter, 80%, they're at the back of the line. 80%, they got a number. They gotta wait.
But at least
So
they're
when
waiting.
they gotta wait for their number and everything, people that are crossing illegally, political asylum and everything, jams
Right.
up the system.
Right.
Right.
When
So
the
it hurts the people that really
Want
need
to do
it.
the thing.
Yeah.
And are
they're trying to
waiting.
do it-
Don't
and
wanna
they're trying to
run
do it the
across.
right way.
Right.
when the system gets all jammed up and everything, before it used to be okay. Well, for your number and everything, 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Now we're about 4 months.
Right.
Why? Because so many people are crossing. All the personnel and everything that does an interview and everything, they have to treat the ones that are crossing illegally, and they have the line is a little bit longer to wait. Also, they were saying to some of the immigrants, they said, okay, if you cross with families, there's a law. There's a law that says that if you have families and you have kids, you could be in a detention center for so much of a time. There's a time limit for you to see the judge. Now, if you see the judge, if the court system is jammed and a whole bunch of families cross all at once, and you pass that time limit to see the judge, well, they put an ankle,
Right, yeah, they
a
have
bracelet on you, on your leg and everything, but you're still in U.S. Custody, or you're still in the United States territory, and they're saying, well, it's easier to fight your case being inside U.S. territory
Right.
than being outside. So the idea is jam all the court system with a whole bunch of families and everything.
Men.
Pass the date, the limit of the time that you have and everything. And when you pass that date, they just put an ankle lock on you.
And
You
then
could
we
stay and fight your case in
well,
the
we
United
know a lot of
States.
them never show back up for
So that's
their
why
hearings.
what happened is, okay, they put this program. Okay, from now on, okay, you get your number, you get your interview, but you get deported back to U.S.
We're back
because
to
everything is jammed. You
mean
get
back to
back to
Mexico.
Mexico. You get deported back to Mexico because the court everything is jammed. That's the reason why now they're deporting everyone back here and everything, because the system is jammed and everything. You're gonna need more attorneys, or you're gonna need more.
which could potentially help
police
in the U.S., but hopefully that word spreads to people in other countries that are being told that they just get to come up and
Right.
get to enter. And I mean that's the question: is what is going to stop this rather than just continuing this flow?
The thing is that they come in a caravan, and they come way over there from Honduras, Salvador, different places. Once they enter into Mexico, there was a priest, Salolinde, what's his name?
Solalinde.
Solalinde. The priest, Salolinde, he makes a deal with the governors. And this is the deal. Okay, you enter like Mexico City. When you enter Mexico City, he makes a deal with the governor. He tells the governor, look, have a whole bunch of immigrants that are coming here. If they're gonna go through your city, you have to go shelter to shelter to shelter to shelter. Security, a lot of money to support, help, watch, and everything. Let's do something. Avoid all that tension and headache. Give me 200 buses. 200 buses, I'll take it out away your. I take it off your head from your state and take it to the other state. So they give them the 100 buses, 200 buses.
And who was this?
Solalinde.
Solalinde.
That's a priest over here.
So they make that deal. So they get all these immigrants with the bus to the other state. Then he negotiates with the other governor. You know what? If there's a shelter and everything, you're gonna spend a lot of money with food and everything, housing them a place, a warehouse, police protection, everything.
So he was
Which,
the.
give me
Our
200,
citizens
give me
don't even
200
get.
buses. Give me 200 buses. I'll take them out of your head and everything, put them to the other. So everything came from state to state to state.
Now is he still,
But
is he
Tijuana's
still doing this?
But Tijuana's a dead end.
Right. So everything gets funneled here.
Bottlenecked here.
Right.
Or Juarez or any of the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
That's
Get
the
up and
problem.
walk.
And is he still doing that? Is he?
That's what he does.
That's
He's-
his whole business with
That's what
Pueblos
he
Sin
does.
Fronteras.
Oh,
and
he
all
works
these-
with them.
Yes, he's collided with them. So
Well,
that-
they were very good partners and everything, and then here they bumped heads a little bit. But they worked together.
Now, before we go, because I know that
Yeah,
he has
yeah, I know.
to do these things. Pastor, these are people that they can reach a lot of people. These three right here. Whatever you need in terms of security and exposing whatever activity you see with Antifa, with activists, they're radical. Don't hesitate to send a message to Ben. Jennifer,
Anything we can do to get the
or
word out
Right.
and to help beat these guys, to
Right.
help you defeat this, that's
Right.
what we want to do.
You have a good purpose. They don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Look how bad the situation was here.
Right. Right.
Let me tell you how bad the situation was here. They were bringing these activist groups, caravan support. They were bringing so much dope and giving dopes to everyone
Oh my god.
that we had a
crazy.
problem with people that sell dope here.
Wow.
So it was
Like, we
starting to
need
become.
more of that in
It was
Tijuana, right?
it was starting to become like a clash. People that sold dope here against the activists. I mean, we were at that point.
Wow.
That
Right.
our shelter was threatened,
Right.
and when our shelter was threatened, all the immigrants that were here, they were very, very frightened
Right.
Oh no.
for their lives. At this present moment, I have an immigrant that really has a very, very strong case for political asylum in the United States, from Honduras. NBC is doing, he came out on the front page of NBC last week. He went to court, and he's in a detention center right now as we're speaking in the U.S. And they were gonna send him back here to Mexico, but now he's applying and asking political asylum not only from his country, but also from Mexico, because of the trouble that these activist groups caused here in Mexico.
When you say they're getting clashes with the other drug sellers of drugs, was that cartel or was that?
Yeah.
So they're these activist groups are selling enough drugs to be in contact.
Alright guys, I gotta log this off for right now because I have to call into the show. So, 1100 a.m. Article 5 hour with JD right now. 4:45. I'll log back on our next adventure.